Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Liska's here,
Liska's here. Is anybody else here physically, mentally,
emotionally.
emotionally?
Chris Leastock's in the house,
Woohoo!
hanging out. I see him driving around his golf cart in my neighborhood.
All right, good morning. We'll get this team meeting starting this morning. As usual, let's start off with
Hold on a minute.
whoa.
Listen, I know that most of you are used to having Yana up here, having Nimesh up here, and we have a special treat for you today because neither one of them are here. Okay. Okay, that's
Can
not
you
what
come
I
over here so the Zoom people
that's
can see?
not
No.
what I was getting at. But I want to make sure and that you all know who we are. So I feel like people sometimes don't know. Would you
Sure.
agree with that?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
Am I Yana's assistant? No.
I am.
Yeah, no, I am not. But I'm Sarah Detmore. I'm our director of productivity or PC coach here. My office is like right around the corner. And most people don't know who I am or what I do, but that's who I am. That's what I do. And then my office neighbor, introduce yourself.
I am Rui Epen. I am also director of growth. I am right around the corner from her. So most of the time we see people right there, either looking for Sarah or looking for me.
Yeah,
We're always there.
we're usually here.
Yes.
And if you can't find me, go find Rui
Yes.
because he's right there, or go find Matthias.
Yes. Or if you can't find me, find her. We're gonna do a thing where we're gonna have arrows saying pointing to the other person's office
Yeah,
to confuse people.
that's right. That's right. But I want to channel my inner Yana, and I'm going to say I can't speak Czech, so y'all don't get that. But we always want to start off, huh? I can't do that. We're going to start out with some high energy. Obviously, I'm over caffeinated per usual. Rui was very casual, like, "Hey, everybody, welcome to team meeting." Okay.
Yeah.
But Yana comes up here and she's like, "Who has some bucket fills? Divorce, new houses, new babies, all the things. Who has good news? New listings, new contracts, new closings, graduations. Is anybody alive?"
I have something fun. I'm online.
Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
please.
Oh, can you hear me? Are you talking to me?
Yes, we can hear you. And
Okay, this is Brandy. Okay, so just something fun that I did. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a total last minute trip to Atlanta where my husband was for work. He called me and he said, "Hey, do you want to fly in and see Pearl Jam tonight?"
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I was like,
Nice.
okay, sure. So he booked me a ticket. We went that night. It was literally, I was there and back in like, 30 hours. But it was talk about bucket list / bucket fill moment. That was it for me because that's literally my jam. Pearl Jam's my jam.
Pearl Jam is Brandy's jam, and what a fun thing to do and a great way to fill 2 buckets, it sounds like. Lots of buckets being filled. Awesome, Brandy. Thank you for sharing. Vamsh, you got your hand up. What's going on?
I think last week, I don't know what happened, but like.
Okay, time is irrelevant. Go ahead.
Very.
Yeah, time is good. Okay, great.
Called me from nowhere.
People called him from nowhere.
I would have been happy if I took 4 listings in 1 year.
Okay.
That happened in 1 week.
4 listings in 1 week. Is that what I heard? We took 4 listings in 1 week. So if I were your
All of them keep calling your name and your name.
Vamshi's popular.
I was like, thank God, thank God, thank God.
You know what though? If I were your maps coach and I asked you where the business came from, and if you said nowhere, that's not a lead source, but great job. I'm proud of you. Okay, I'm proud of you. 4 listings in 1 week. Round of applause for Vamshi. 1 clap. Okay. Who
Who's
else?
next?
Mandy. Mandy. We can talk about personal stuff here, just like G-rated.
My son is finally home for the summer from his second year of
Where does
school.
your son live?
During school?
Yes.
Maryland.
Maryland. That's far.
So we got him home. Yay.
Yay, AJ's home. That's fun. My kids are always home, so that's different for me.
Don't go away.
I know, and I think when they do, I'm like,
Since we're doing personal, my son is getting ready to go to high school and I'm so
we're
nervous
having
about
a
it.
moment, aren't we?
Yes, we are. And he's actually getting ready to go on a trip to DC and to New York, and they're going on a class trip, and I'm super nervous about it because
I'm nervous for you.
yes, thank you. But I just wanted to share that since we're sharing stuff about our kids.
Yes, yes. I love that. We will all be nervous together. Okay, let's do one more. I lied before. Go ahead, Tanya.
So I had a closing in,
Yes.
it's not about the closing,
Oh.
but the problem, they put the light posts on the sidewalk. So it blocked closing because it didn't pass with Harris County. It's ADA restriction. You can't have a light post on a sidewalk.
Like in the
It-
middle of the sidewalk?
Correct. And we took
Who's in charge
pictures.
here?
Yeah. And it's a $500,000 house. It didn't matter the price point, but it was such a big deal about getting that light post removed now. But it's removed and it's closed. We funded
Who's the
yesterday.
builder? Hold on a minute. Who's the builder? I'm gonna write a email. I'm kidding. I won't. I feel like you'll handle it. But great job. So that's a great example and a reminder of how important it is for our buyer clients to have representation on new construction. Okay? Norman. Awesome. Great. So let's go ahead and jump into our stuff today. Reminders, Ree, take us away.
All right, so we got a ton of classes, we got a ton of events going on this month. First off, I'd like to invite Israel up. We've got a social hour at Talia.
Is this like the man's club?
Yes.
Oh.
I voted to call it the He-Man Women Haters Club, but I got voted.
So this is a little, the what?
The He-Man Women Haters.
He-Man women, no, I didn't approve that message. This is a little impromptu.
I'm sorry, who are you? And what do you do here?
My name is Israel
Okay, great.
Flores. I'm an agent here and I'm
Okay,
teaching right after the team meeting.
He is. Calibri Session 5, working with buyers.
Yes.
The place to be.
So a little impromptu. I did send out some text messages like a week or two ago. I just wanted to get together a bunch of the guys, sorry, ladies. For
We're all very busy, so go on.
you know, it's men of the market. It's nothing super formal.
Right.
There's no agenda. There is no late attendance. There's no attendance. You know, we're in a tough market.
Mhm.
We're in a crazy world. So I thought it'd be good to get some of the guys together, hang out, talk shop if we want to, vent if we need to, get away from the house if we need to. So yeah, it's tomorrow. It's a little bit late notice. It's open to everyone.
Apparently men only though.
To to men in the office. At Talia Brewery, which is right by Skeeters. Or
Space Cowboys.
Space Cowboys.
Let's get it
Did
together.
I say Skeeters?
You did.
And it's from 5 to 7.
We'll talk
So
about
come
that
and
later.
go, please. Come hang out for a bit. That's it.
Men only. Very exclusive. Hey, thank you.
You want to start the women's?
I don't
happy
have
hour?
time. Nope,
Anybody want to
sure
start the
don't.
women's happy hour? All right.
But somebody else can. I will maybe attend virtually. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Israel. Let's move on.
All right, the next one, Mortgages Made Easy.
Denise, you want to come up here and share? Denise. Y'all clapped way louder for her than Israel. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
Hey, y'all, before just FYI, today is also Denise's birthday.
Okay, stop traffic. We got to sing. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
How awful was that?
Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. We are having our Mortgage 101 tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's open to everybody. And we'd like for y'all to come and, bring questions, bring things to talk about. We'll obviously go over the basics of qualifying and certain rules, but for mortgages, but just come tell us what you, any questions you have on your mind.
Yes, awesome.
All
We
right.
love that we have this monthly. Is this? Nope. I turned it off when I sang, just for you guys.
Yeah, it's
Okay, I'm hot.
third Wednesday, no,
Third Thursday.
third Thursday.
It's great. Third Thursday of every month. New American Funding is in the training room for an hour, doing kind of a general mortgage 101. So many of our new agents come to us and say, I have a buyer, now what? Okay. And partnering with any of our preferred lender partners and having a direct access to them to get your clients in contact with the lender to start that process is truly one of the first steps of working with a buyer, which Israel will cover today in Calibri Session 5. Perfect. Okay. So join us tomorrow morning, 10 to 11 here and on Zoom for Mortgage Made Easy, Mortgage 101 with New American Funding.
All right, the next one is the Vacant Land class by Majestic Title. They did this, I think it was 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and it was a hit, so they're bringing it back again.
Total
Uh,
rager.
21st, on the 21st from 1 to 3.
A lot of our agents also are selling vacant land, and I know this is a repeat class because of the feedback we got from the agents who did attend the first time. Land is different than residential, and so if you have sold land before, if you have land leads that you have in your pipeline, or you're just generally curious and like to learn about how land sales are different than residential, come out, whatever that was, next Wednesday. Next
Did you
Wednesday.
show the slide again?
Yep.
It's
Someone else can.
next Wednesday, 1 to 3. Here.
Here.
Right here. All right, next is our KWYP Summit,
Okay, let's invite our Houston chapter
Brandon.
president up to talk about YP Summit.
and not about Pearl Jam, but about
Not about Pearl Jam.
So excited to know what that was.
Hey guys, so for those of you guys who haven't heard recently over the last, 2 months, Keller Williams Young Professionals is having their family reunion style conference in Chicago, which is taking place in a few weeks. So if you guys are interested to learn more information about it, I'm more than happy to tell you guys who's going to be there in attendance. It is a great time. It is a great way for you to network and get together with great people. Yes, ma'am.
Pearl Jam.
Is it a park in Chicago?
Pearl Jam.
So it will.
Wait, really? Yeah. All right.
Well, y'all were making fun of me this morning. Okay, anyways, last but not least, I don't have the slide for it just yet. Our chapter is hosting our first mixer open to the public on June 20th at Kirby Grove, which is right in Greenway Plaza. So we're going to be in town inside the city. It is a $25 ticket, which does include food, drinks, raffles, tickets, and supplies as well. So we are looking to network locally within the Houston area as well. So if you guys want to get more information about that, I will have more to come soon as we are finalizing a couple extra details. All right, thank y'all so much.
Awesome.
I'm old enough to be a chaperone. Can I come and chaperone?
What is it? The age is just a
Age is
number.
just a number. The vibe is youthfulness.
So if you're like me and think that you've aged out of Keller Williams Young Professionals, the answer is no.
I'm a little beyond that, so I've got to be a chaperone. So,
We have chaperone
That's
Ruby.
your desire.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. Is Greg here?
Greg was here earlier.
You just left.
He left. Okay.
Okay, well, Greg is our director of marketing, and that's it.
So he's got some cool marketing things out,
Moving on.
things out there available. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. He's got some cool things out there. Design your own open house flyer. If you click on that, if you go to the link from that QR code, you can actually create your own open house flyers. He's done some cool things with it.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to stand over here.
We can use it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I thought it was paparazzi.
I know. I was like, whatever, y'all can record this, but I'll just move.
Got it? Yes. He's got the same thing for your listing presentation. Update your listing presentation.
Yes,
This is
update
huge.
it.
Get out there, and I should see everybody clicking this one.
If you also don't yet have a listing presentation, this might be a great opportunity to scan this QR code and not only update it, but create one. Man, we are at a vibe today. What's happening? Oh, that's the QR code. So Greg's tricking us is what you're saying. I thought y'all are all watching the exact same TikTok. And I was like, that's not fair.
All right. So next Monday, the 19th at 2 p.m., he's also doing an AI-powered real estate marketing class here in person.
In person only.
In person
Don't
only.
come ask me for the Zoom link, y'all. In person only.
So from speaking to him, he taught this class a couple of weeks ago at Katie. He's updated it more since then. So there's new technology, new things that he's bringing in. So it's a class that you
Oh
definitely
yeah, I'm
want
just
to
gonna stand
come
over
to.
here. I'm like 100% in the way. How many of you use AI right now in your business? Okay. How many of you don't know what AI is? Okay, just checking. ChatGPT. What's the Google one? Gemini. Thank you.
Yeah.
Which is included in your.
It is. It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, he's got his evening marketing session going on Wednesday, May 21st, 6 p.m. From what I understand, this is just everything and anything marketing, that Q&A session, etc. It is going to be Zoom only.
Yes. How many of you have attended one of Greg's evening marketing sessions in the past? Any feedback?
It's good.
Great. Join us. It's good. Gary said so. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Greg also is fast paced. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Marketing course, that one, I posted at least 6 videos of me speaking in public.
Okay. And I'm glad that you said that. Thank you. Because who was also here a few weeks ago when Audra O'Neill was standing in this exact same spot, looking way better than I do? Okay, great. Some of you. One of the very first things she said was, if you're not posting on social media on your stories 10 times a day, you're losing. I about fell out of my chair. Okay. So no matter where you are in life, where you are in business, I mean, I think we can all agree social media is not going away, and artificial intelligence will become more and more necessary, maybe. So these 2 classes that Greg has coming up are classes that you should absolutely make a point to attend. Yeah. I feel like you're in a safe space. Yeah. Do you need a mic?
Physical.
Oh, like you're not supposed to. Okay, then maybe not. Oh. Okay. Is that painful?
It was, yeah, but
Okay.
we're healing.
can
We're getting
whisper.
better. Anyway, whispering's actually worse. Fun fact.
I don't
But
know a
anyways,
lot of things, but
with
that's
the AI stuff, at Tom Ferry, he was saying how AI is the biggest advancement in society since electricity. So just know that AI is not going anywhere. It might get regulated a little bit more, but it's time to start learning. And I would love to sit with you and teach you when I have my voice back.
okay.
Let's wait for that.
Yeah. So again, now more than ever, if you don't have a listing presentation, you can scan the QR code. I don't know where to find it now, but Norman will put it on our Facebook group. Make one. If you are using AI but don't really know what you're doing with AI, come to Greg's class about artificial intelligence. Taylor can teach us when she feels better, all the great things. I had no idea that it was the biggest advancement since electricity, because that feels weird to say out loud. But it is.
It's
Okay.
moving so fast. It's not even funny.
Yeah, well, I am not keeping up. Okay, but speaking of moving fast, let's go.
All right. Next is our sponsors.
Let's welcome our sponsors up. Where did? Yeah, like physically come up here. Yeah. Did Kevin leave? Oh, there you are. Oh, you were just like off on the sides. Okay. I knew I saw you earlier, but I was like, where'd you go? Y'all go ahead and hop into the mic. Impart wisdom on these beautiful people today.
Good morning, everybody. It's not
Yes, sir.
it's not lunchtime yet. How you guys doing? So my name is Kevin Davidson, as you can see from right there. I am the business development officer for Stewart Title. Who in here has not heard of Stewart Title? Very good. I was hoping to see no hands. We are the largest title company on the planet, and I represent Sugarland, which is right around the corner, and Richmond, which is about 10 minutes south of here. We have 4 escrow officers with a combined over 100 years of experience. And I just want to say thank you to anybody that's in the room, anybody that's not, that's watching online. We have been getting more and more orders for title services from this office in the last few months than we have in the last 4 or 5 years. So if you're using us,
Credit for that.
I appreciate that very much. There you go, right there. She's one of them right there. She's one of them right there. And the other thing I want to say real quick is, anybody here like to play bingo? Okay, so I'm doing my annual bingo event on the 27th of this month in my Richmond office from 1 to 4. Come out and play with us.
Oh, daytime bingo.
Daytime bingo.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. If it's like 6 and 8, I'm out.
And
But
this is my friend Eric Christie from a Boxer Inspections. He helped me with the lunch
Eric.
today.
yay.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all? So as you can tell by the slide, I have an inspection company. It's my company. I don't work for somebody else. I've been doing this for about 8 years now, so I've kind of racked up a few houses under the belt. But as you guys know, we help our clients understand what the condition of the property is before they buy it. They need to walk away from that inspection, if they go to the inspection, or be able to read that report and understand what's in it, right? They shouldn't be scared of the house or scared of of what's in that inspection report. It should make sense. So that's how I help them, and I provide excellent customer service. That's how I differentiate myself. Since we've been talking about AI, I want to share with you guys a cool tip. Write this down, Notebook LM. So if you guys Google my company, you'll find a whole bunch of videos on the internet
Notebook
for
LM.
different social media. I make a video, I upload it to Notebook LM. And I tell it to create a transcript of it and how I want it to read. I can put all these different descriptions. I want to do it in.
Is someone scheduling an inspection with you right now?
I'm sorry?
Is someone scheduling an
No,
inspection with
that's
you right now?
that's the shop that my car is getting ready.
That's great news.
Yes, yes.
I kind of teed you
Yeah,
up there.
Century Automotive. Anyway. So you upload the video, you tell it to create a transcript, a text, and then you can post that in your social media along with the video, because not everybody has time to read. I'm sorry, time to watch the video, or can't watch it because it's talking, right? But they can read it. It'll also allow you to create a podcast. Who has a podcast in here? Right? I'm fixing to start one because I was like, what do I do with these things? But you can create an audio where it's two people, two AI people talking about what you said in the video. It's pretty cool
What?
stuff. Yep. Anyway.
Okay, listen.
So
Tom
Eric
Perry's
Chris
not
doing
here
boxer
today,
inspection.
so let's stop talking about Tom. Okay?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for being here.
All right, let's welcome up our partners, who's all here today. Come on up, please.
Yeah, like Matthias, get up here.
Yes.
Okay.
Go first.
Yeah. Yeah. Hop up here on the mic. On the mic.
Good morning. I am Deborah McGuire and I am with Orbit Title. It looks like your third title company today to say good morning. But anyway, I wanted to talk about two things really quickly. On June 18th from 9 to 11 a.m. in this building or in this office space, I am providing an AI and how it applies to social media class. I know you guys are getting bombarded. So if you missed the one on May 19th, come to mine on June 18th. It'll be taught by Kyle Thomas. He's taught another class for me before. He's amazing. He's a former Google employee and is just very knowledgeable when it comes to AI and how to use it to your advantage as a realtor. And then finally, I'd like to see a show of hands of how many of you guys helped out at Red Day. Volunteered at Red Day, got to meet Neri. Okay, that was an amazing experience. Well, guess what? She needs all 4 of her signs on her house to be updated with her new logo. And Brad talked me into replacing all 4 for her, but I was curious. I'm definitely going to do one of them, but I'm curious if there's any agents here that would also like to contribute to Neri's new signs for her building. They'll have her new logo. And anyway, I'll get more information. I'm getting that priced out right now, but I just wanted to plant that seed. And I hope you guys have a great week. And I will not be here next week because I will be at my daughter's 8th grade graduation. So thank God she's graduating now. So make it a great 2 weeks and I'll see you guys when I get back. That's it.
How you doing, guys? Home USA Mortgage, Matthias here. I want to kind of, I've been touching base on this, but the deadline's kind of coming up. So who has heard about the FHA changes starting May 25th? Yeah? Okay, so starting May 25th, if you're not a permanent resident, you cannot get an FHA loan. So again, if you have customers right now that are an FHA customer and you're looking for homes, it's probably good to talk about these things and kind of find out what their immigration status is, because after May 25th, we will not be able to do an FHA loan. Yes, ma'am. They're not going to do DACA either. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be a permanent resident alien, green card holder generally. So that kind of, yes. The pre-approval, you have to get a FHA case number assigned to them. So they have to essentially be under contract. You know what I mean? So if they're under contract, they could do it on that day, then you're okay. We just need the FHA case number assigned already. So it's, May 25th. Yeah. As far as interest rates goes, we're just kind of seeing them hovering. We haven't seen many changes in the past few weeks. However, fun fact, we have seen an increase of mortgage applications
Hey, what does that
happening.
mean?
So Yeah, there's a few extra buyers, so hey, go get them. If you guys need any support or have any questions, you know where to find me. Thank you for your time.
Awesome.
Okay, so obviously I'm not supposed to talk, so I want to see who wants to come be my voice today. I have a script for you. If not, yeah, come on. I was gonna say I was gonna volunteer Brandon if no one else.
She kicked you? I didn't see anything.
Do that in your best Riley impression.
We have a card too.
Okay, am I starting here? At Hi Realtors?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi Realtors.
The enthusiasm.
It's Riley Nelson. Not really, I'm Julia, AKA Riley at Fidelity. Shameless plug. Let's connect on Instagram at Riley at Fidelity. I am a business development manager alongside Nicole Goulet at Fidelity National Title. My job is to partner with you all to help grow your business. So when it's time for closing, you trust Fidelity National Title to ensure a smooth transaction. I have a Canva Advanced CE. I need that. I need that really bad because Canva and I don't get along. Course on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'd love to see your faces and send me your next contract. Thank you, Riley.
I love that. The Canva class?
Where is it located?
One moment. One moment.
Okay, the Canva class is this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's at the Goosehead office in Memorial. That's our corporate office. So it's off of Gessner and I-10, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Thursday.
Riley says yes. She also smells good if y'all want to get a chance to.
Oh, and if you guys go over there, check out their cold brew coffee. It is absolutely insane.
Okay, lots of great things happening right now. Apparently. Didn't know that. I only think of Scott Sacchieri and his fudge. I don't know. And that was great, by the way. That was all great. What's next? Thank you, everybody. Oh, no, we're not done yet. Okay. So now I'm going to come into the conversation here. I don't even have a slide that says like creating buyer urgency. Norman, what are you doing? I'm just kidding. It's not your fault. It's mine. So our topic for today's team meeting. Listen, Liska, if I stop moving, I will go to sleep. That's where I'm at. If I stop moving, I will take a night-night. So I'm going to keep moving. Today's topic, though, is all about creating buyer urgency. So some of you are going to hear some things that are in Shift Tactic 9. If you have not read Shift Tactic 9 or you don't know anything about the Shift book, make a note, mental or physical note, whatever you're doing, to read Shift Tactic 9 anytime you are feeling stuck with a buyer. Okay? Matthias just shared with us that loan applications are up. My friends in the room that like to work with buyers or have buyer clients right now, that's a good thing. When loan applications go up, that is a leading indicator for us that we are about to have more buyers enter the market. So if you have buyers that are home shopping right now and you need a reason to reach out to them, if they're reluctant, which we'll talk about today as well, now's a great time to say, hey, one of my preferred lending partners shared today that loan application numbers are increasing. Hello. Answer it if you need to. Okay. Because buyers that are home shopping right now that hear from you that loan applications are going up, we can also share with them. So Tanya, what that means for you is we're about to have more buyer competition in the marketplace. So would it make sense for us to secure a home now before these buyers start shopping in the same area that you're shopping in, right? Is that a conversation you can all initiate today with a buyer who's home shopping right now? Perfect. Okay. Buyers are my jam. For those of you that don't know, I used to be a buyer agent on a team, a pretty big team here in Houston. Well, it was big. We won't go into that. God bless you. Heavens. Heavens. Okay. Yeah, it's probably also the breakfast Takis that you're eating. Yeah. Okay. So true or false? True or false? Israel, I might pull you up here to just jump into this conversation, by the way. True or false, buyers or liars? Okay, listen. I was not expecting the like physical reaction some of you had, okay? But how many of you have heard before, or maybe thought this morning, or are thinking right now, yeah, buyers are kind of pain in the ass? Okay. Listen, it is what we make it, right? And it's very easy when we are in a market that is where buyer reluctance kind of comes to the forefront. It's very easy for us to default to, oh, buyers are liars. That person's wasting my time. They're never going to buy anything, blah, 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 blah. And I heard Brandon say this too, and I would agree that, yeah, buyers might be liars if and when we let them. Meaning if we aren't skilled enough to control the conversations, if we aren't skilled enough to set the right expectations, yeah, we miss a lot of things that show up in how the buyers behave. And then our reaction is, well, yeah, they suck. And they actually don't. Because buyers, this is my next true or false question, true or false? A buyer will always buy when they have a reason to buy. Yeah. Like 100% of the time, a buyer will buy when they have a reason to buy. It doesn't matter if it's raining. It doesn't matter if it's snowing. It doesn't matter if it's 165 degrees outside. It doesn't matter what the interest rates are. It doesn't matter what the inventory is. Buyers will always buy when they have a reason to buy. So if you have buyers, first of all, if you have buyers that don't have a signed representation agreement with you, I hate to break it to you, you don't have a buyer. Let's just go ahead and clear the air. For the ones that you do, though, have signed representation agreements with, if they are not behaving in the way that buyers have to behave right now to secure a home, then you have missed something. You have missed something. Okay? So, I think we can all agree, though, that right now we're experiencing a lot of buyer reluctance. Anyone want to give me an example of what buyer reluctance looks or feels like? Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to have a house, but gosh, I just don't know with the interest rates being where they are. Sure. What else? Okay, we'll come to you in just a minute. Go ahead.
I can't afford because what I can afford, the houses are too small.
Okay, yeah, the house, the price point I can houses just don't fit my lifestyle. Okay, go ahead. Sure, I think the president's always an excuse, no matter who it is. Go ahead. I got to sell before I can buy. Yeah, which is actually a great time to do that right now, by the way. Great time. Okay, so there are lots of reasons that can come up in conversations where we might start to feel some buyer reluctance. How many of you recently have taken a buyer out to see a few houses and then the buyer ghosted you? Yeah, I'm not picking anybody. Okay, it happens. Okay, because sometimes reluctance shows up and they just don't call you back. Yeah, they just don't call you back. Or they call you and they're like, gosh, Mandy, I changed my mind. I just don't know if I can buy right now because my dog is sick. I don't know, whatever. It shows up in a lot of different ways is the point I'm trying to make, okay? So let's talk about what fuels that reluctance for buyers. Jimmy, are you awake? Okay, yeah. I can't see because your glasses. I thought you were taking a nap. I'll come over there and I'll scream at you. But what fuels buyer reluctance is a couple of things, right? They think that they can time the market. Buyers think they can time the market, okay? The media does a really fantastic job of creating fear in a lot of different ways, okay? Buyers fixate on finding a deal. They fixate on finding a deal, and they may have a fear of overpaying, okay? Those aren't the only things that fuel buyer reluctance, yet in the market that we're in right now, those four things are likely causing buyers to start to feel reluctant. We're going to add something? Okay, I was like, jump in here, man. Like, I'm open for everything. Okay. So let's talk about that, because for us to be able to create urgency with a buyer, we first have to understand what urgency is. Okay? How many of you have heard of when a buyer will buy when they are ready, willing, and able? Okay? And let's be clear, all three of those things have to exist together for a buyer to decide to buy. They have to be ready, willing, and able. You can't be ready and willing and not able. You can't be willing and ready, but no, it's the same thing. You can't be just the different. You can't be able and willing, but not ready. You have to have all three components. But what does that even mean? How do we know if a buyer is able? What makes a buyer able to buy a house? They have to have money. They most likely have to have a job. And sometimes they don't know that, and that's not their fault. Okay. And I'm not trying to be funny here, guys, even though sometimes I am, but not in that moment, because sometimes buyers just don't know. They don't know that they have to have money to put a down payment down on a house. They don't know that they have to have money to pay their earnest money and their option fee. They don't know that they have to have a loan pre-approval. Okay. They don't know that, because how can we expect them to know that if they've never bought a house before? Any of you remember buying your very first house? I do. My realtor was awful, and it wasn't me. It wasn't me, okay? But I look back now on that experience, and she was terrible. Her name was Susie, and she's not good, okay? But that makes me show up differently, because I don't want anyone to experience what I did with Susie. And she was awful. She was so bad. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know. Family friend situation. Hold on. Yeah, she was not good. So they have to have money. They have to be able to purchase a home either with cash that we have seen proof of funds for. Okay, we need to stop masquerading around out there with buyers who are paying cash and you have not even seen a bank statement or a proof of funds. Stop doing that to yourselves, please. Okay, immediately. I love all of you, but stop it. The buyer has to be able, and that shows up in their ability to obtain financing and have cash on hand for down payments and such. So as the agent, this is where we have to maybe have some, I don't want to say uncomfortable conversations early on, but when we're talking to a buyer for the first time, it's appropriate for you to say, hey, would it be okay if I asked you a couple honest questions just to make sure that I can best help you? How much do you have saved for a down payment? I would so much rather find that out within the first 10 minutes I'm talking to somebody than after I've shown them 17 houses and they go, down payment, I don't have any money. Well, then no wonder you haven't bought a house, okay? We have to be the ones to initiate these conversations. And when you can pre-frame it with a, would it be okay if I asked you an honest question? Do you have money, but in a nice way, okay? How do we know if they're ready? If we know that they're able, primarily due to their ability to obtain financing and have funds available for the immediate things that they have to pay for, how do we know if they're ready? I mean, I tell you what, that is a very important question. If you have not yet had a spouse try to buy a house without their spouse, it gets wild, okay? They can't do that, but they try, okay? Or before their divorce is final. Oh yeah, okay, lots of stories. All right, so yes, they might have a condition that has to be cleared before they can buy a house. How else might we know if they're ready? What makes a buyer ready? Well, that's the able part. That's the able. The able is the financing. How do we know if they're ready? Okay, they're aware of all the factors involved. What does that mean? Okay, so that's back to the ability to buy. They're motivated. They have a reason to buy a house. Can we agree that buying a house is a big freaking deal? Right? And most consumers don't buy a house that often. Like, what is it? Every 5 to 10 years or something? The statistic, I feel like, always changes. So this is a big deal for them. And so there has to be some type of motivating factor for them to buy now. Now, the buyers might say to you something like, well, Brandon, I just think now is the right time to buy. It just feels right. Okay? And a lot of agents will go, cool, let's go find out, blah, 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 and they'll jump into action. Yet what we want to do is make sure that we understand, like, what about now makes it the right time? Right? What makes now the right time to buy? If you're getting evicted, then I'd have a lot of questions. However, yeah, if your other option is being homeless, maybe buying makes sense. If you're getting evicted, I don't know, we'll see. But yes, that's a finite of like, I'll be homeless if I don't go somewhere. Okay. It's primarily though for personal reasons. And we talk at Keller Williams all the time about our big why. And buyers have a big why too. And if you're like, yeah, but the big why is dumb, that's fine. I'm not here to talk about a big why, but buyers have a reason, but it's beyond the reason. So as the agent, we have to make sure that we're asking questions to get crystal clear on not only the reason that they're buying, but what's the reason behind the reason. Okay. So let me give you an example. AJ plays baseball. Okay. Dawson plays baseball. Other kids in here play baseball, right? So let's say Mandy is working with a buyer and this buyer's son also plays baseball. And Mandy's like, great, what are you looking for in a house? Criteria, blah, blah, blah. Why are you moving? Well, gosh, you know, Mandy, Dawson's going to be a professional athlete one day. I can just feel it in my spirit. We need a yard big enough where I can build a full-size baseball field, turf only, with 2 indoor batting cages. Okay? Now, that might be my reason of saying I need more space. That might be the surface level reason. But if Mandy's like, well, what's important about that? I'm going to go into, well, I've got a 10-year-old who's going to be a professional athlete. Just wait for it. And this is the reason I need these things. So there's a reason for the reason that is more of the emotional connection to why the buyer's buying right now. Okay? People don't upsize. They upsize because ... People don't downsize. They downsize because ... Okay? Does that make sense? There's always a reason behind the reason. All right? Or the why behind the why. And yes, I think the readiness also shows up in them having a specific needs and wants that are also in alignment with what the market has to offer. Okay? Specific needs and wants that align with what the market has to offer. Because if you're talking to a buyer prospect, let's say Jimmy goes on a buyer consultation and they're like, yep, I need 17 acres in the middle of Sugar Land. Okay? We laugh because we know that that doesn't exist. But the buyers don't know that. Okay? They don't know that. But that's where Jimmy and his level of skill set is going to say, hey, that sounds great. Tell me where you've seen a property like that. Right? And then they're going to go, well, that's why I hired you, Jimmy. I know you can find it. And he's going to say, listen, I'm going to be really honest with you. That type of property and that location doesn't exist in our market. But let's talk about where we can find it, as long as you know the why behind the why of why that's important. Okay? We have to be the one to set some really clear expectations on what the buyer can expect in the market when it comes to their needs and wants. Because I see this happen all the time. Do I have plenty of time? What time is it? Oh. Renee, thank you. Okay. What was I even talking about? I was talking about that. You're right. Okay. The expectations of what the market has to offer. Okay. Guys, it's completely appropriate in a initial conversation or consultation with a buyer to make sure that they have realistic expectations of what the market has to offer. Because what I see happen often is we get a property desk call or we get a buyer lead from somewhere and we get super excited. And when they say they want 17 acres in downtown Sugar Land, we're gonna go, great, I got it, let's see what I can find, give it blah, blah, blah. And then we spin our wheels trying to find something that never existed in the first place and give that buyer a false sense of hope. And then we wonder why they never buy something, right? So we have to be the one to make sure that we understand they're ready when what their needs and wants are aligned with what the market has to offer. Okay, so we've talked about the ability to buy, financing, having money, and also having a job. All important things. Ready. personal reasons. There's a why behind the why or a reason for the reason. And then we have to know what they need and want, what's important about that, and to make sure it aligns with what the market has to offer. Now, what makes a buyer willing? What makes a buyer willing? Say more about that.
If you're finding them what they're looking
Come up here,
for.
Israel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. I know. I've been like,
Just stick around for the class afterwards. If you're finding them what they're looking for and they're pre-approved, for example, and you found them that one story in Sugar Land, but they're not making offers, and you're continuously showing them, and you're finding them what they're looking for, and they're not making offers, and there's a disconnect there somewhere.
yeah.
So they're not willing,
Yeah.
right? It's pretty much.
So, I mean, it sounds so simple because it is. Because when we find what they want and they're able to afford it, there has to also be that connector of they're willing to do what it takes to get it. Are you stretching or you go, okay, yeah, get up here, Jimmy. Come on.
Well, and you also have to make the hard decision. No,
Just get up here. Come up here, Jimmy. Come up
She's
here.
making everybody come up.
I am.
If you're talking today, you have to come
I
up.
am.
I
I have 10 more minutes.
While Jimmy takes his time.
He's
If
walking
you
kind of
do
slow.
you also have to make the hard decision at some point. If you're finding them what they're able, they have motivation, but they're not willing to move forward
Yeah.
and make an offer.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision, cut them loose at some point.
And when we're in that consultative environment, okay, we obviously want to get
Set expectations.
clarity on the ability to buy, the readiness to buy, and then we have to say, great. So when we find a house that makes financial sense for you with these things you just talked about, then we'll be ready to make an offer. Is that correct? Because you're wanting to embed that when you find it, we're going to make an offer, right? Okay,
I was gonna just say.
say something smart, Jimmy.
I was gonna say just speed. Like when someone is fast to do things that we're asking them to do, that's like a clear indication.
It
that they're
can be.
willing. And so like, for example, Saturday morning, I was taking my kids to Dutch Bros.
Nice.
And I got a call on one of my listings and the lady was like, hey, can you show it to me today? And I was like, hey, I can be by in like 15 minutes. Is where we
You're so
live."
kind.
And she's like, yeah, I'll meet you there. And then we have a
In
conversation.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then she met me there. And then I was like, hey, have you been pre-approved? She was like, no, I'm ready. She's just telling me all this stuff. And I was like, well, let me get you my lender. And within like an hour, she did the app. And then I got the pre-approval by 4:00. By the next day, we were under contract.
Stop traffic.
So it's just like speed. Like if they're willing and they're
They'll
moving.
do it.
Yeah.
It shows up in their behavior, is
Yep.
what I'm hearing you
Yep.
say. But it also goes two ways because if that's buyers behave in the way that buyers behave when they are willing to do what it takes to get an offer or to get an offer accepted, right?
I'll share one more thing, then I'll sit down. If we are showing houses, and a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this, we show houses just to show houses, and then they don't like any of those houses. We show them 5 on Saturday, and we're like, okay, you didn't like any of those. I'll meet you next week, and we'll look at another 5 houses, and then we'll look at another 5 houses. You should never leave that appointment without having a conversation. If those houses didn't fit, then I need some feedback. I need to know why. If I'm doing my job and I'm finding you the right options and you're not picking any of those,
Yeah.
I'm not forcing you into making an offer, but if they're not a right fit, then we need to have a quick conversation.
I gotta know why.
Yeah, I gotta know why.
I don't know why. Oh, love that. By the way, I did not intend for this to segue perfectly into Calibria Session 5, working with buyers, yet it's working out really well. So 1 to 3, Israel will be here. Okay, so I need to keep going. Thank you everyone for everything. So let's talk about 3 ways to energize buyer urgency. Now that we know what fuels reluctance, okay, we understand how we define urgency. Okay, ready, willing, able. Remember, all 3 have to exist. All 3 have to exist. Let's talk about 3 ways to energize buyer urgency quickly. What does it mean to be the local economist of choice? Yeah. Yeah. All those things. Renee's brilliant. She's a great agent. All of you are great as well. But for those of you on Zoom that couldn't hear, Renee said we have to know what's happening in the market in terms of like inventory, how many homes are available, what the days on market are. There are a few key statistics. Something weird's happening. Forgive me. that are important for us to be aware of, to make sure like we can explain these things to a buyer in a way that also help us solidify the expectations that we're setting. Example, I live in Pecan Grove. Who else lives in Pecan Grove? Hey, just us? All right, well, anyway, so if I was helping a buyer buy a house in Pecan Grove, and before I met them for our buyer consultation or shortly after, I would want to make sure that I knew and could share with that buyer prospect how many active homes there are in Pecan Grove right now. That's the active inventory, okay? I'd also want that to make sure that I could explain to the prospect what the average days on market is. How long are homes in Pecan Grove sitting on the market? And then the third thing I would share that I think is also great information is for the homes that have sold, what's that list price to sell price ratio? What percentage of the asking price is the seller actually selling the house for? Okay, because all three of those numbers, which you can all find in HAR, by the way, or in Matrix, whatever Matrix, okay? And if you don't know how to do that, like ask, because those are three things that you'll absolutely want to know, because then I can use that information to not only make sure that my client knows that I'm brilliant, it also helps them understand, it helps us actually connect the dots on the willingness. Because when I can tell Renee, hey, buyers and sellers in Pecan Grove right now, looks like these homes are selling on average of this number of days, and it looks like sellers are expecting to get about 96% of their asking price, which means for us, on a house that's priced at this, we can expect it to sell around this. It helps eliminate those future conversations that pop up when buyers want to offer like $100,000 under asking price, which we're like, why would we even do that? But if we don't tell them what's happening in the local economy before they act, then we're missing an opportunity. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I know we're hungry. I'm going to speed it up. All right. Help them tap into their why. We kind of went over this earlier. Okay. If someone's like, yep, I want to move because I need more space. What does that even mean? What does more space mean? Okay. Hey, Myrtis. I didn't know she was here. So maybe, yes, it's likely an indicator that they need a bigger space than they have right now. Could be just a bedroom. It could be like an actual physical living space. Okay. The point here is that we have to ask them to define that to us, because more space for me is different than what more space is to Jimmy, right? Downsizing to me is different than what downsizing might be to somebody else. So if someone's like, yep, I want to downsize. Hey, could you like describe to me what downsizing is for you? Downsizing could be super weird. Could be going to a shipping container house. I don't know. I think that's it about that part. At the end of the day, though, facts tell and stories sell. And we have a huge advantage right now over many other agents in the marketplace. One, because we're all here. And two, because we have plenty of stories that we can share that buyers are experiencing right now to other buyers that we're talking to. Okay, so if you have recently put a listing under contract, Jimmy just shared his example of the listing that you just put on the market, and how many days until you got it under contract? 18, which I think right now is like, that's quick. That's quick, right? So that's a story that he can use to tell other prospective sellers and buyers on, hey, when we price listings in line with the market, we get them sold within 18 days or less, right? And for other buyers he might be talking to, it's like, hey, when we do these things quickly, we can make offers that get accepted. So we all have stories that we are experiencing, we can share with other buyers, buyer prospects and buyer clients that can also help them feel more confident in what other buyers just like them are experiencing in the market. Okay, guys, buyers are getting all of their closing costs paid. Buyers are getting new roofs on houses. Buyers are getting new air conditioning systems. Buyers are getting many things that they want. And that's a story we need to tell the buyers, because if they don't, all they see right now is price until they're actually going through the process. And so don't be afraid to tell stories that you're hearing even if it's not your story, you can say, hey, an agent in my office is experiencing X, Y, and Z with a client just like you. Let's go to this new construction home and see if we can get the same thing. And the last thing I'll say, and this is like, when I said buyers are liars first and all of y'all like basically fell out of your chairs. One thing I hear all the time, and especially in this market, is, oh, well, the buyer wants a deal. What does that even mean? How do we know what a deal is? Okay, percentage back at closing, good price. What did you say over there? Unrealistic? Okay, maybe.
Maybe a deal for me is not a deal for another.
And that's the exact answer I'm looking for, is it's subjective. Okay, so if you have a buyer right now that you are either showing houses to or in some stage of the process with, and you're like, oh, but they're waiting for a deal. If you don't know what their definition of a deal is, and if you don't know how they'll know when they've gotten a deal, you gotta ask. You gotta ask. Because not every deal is the same, and not everyone's definition of a deal is the same, right? Okay, was this helpful? Okay, are you all gonna go talk to your buyers right now? Okay, great. Is there any, he left. Wasn't he just there? Yeah. So rude. Okay, well, any questions? Let's open it up for like 30 seconds of Q&A and then we'll dismiss for lunch. If you have no questions, that's fine too. That means I said everything I needed to say.
Identify their deal. They say they don't for a deal. They have to be vocal about it, or based on their body language as to how communicating with you that they do not need a deal. The deal has to do with your permission back to them or from, I don't know what kind of deal.
I mean, I think if you ask a buyer, like, hey, describe to me the deal. Like, what does a deal mean to you and how will you know that you've gotten a deal? It could be a number of things. So I would want them to verbally speak back to me their definition of a deal. Because if I don't know that, then how do I know what I'm looking for? Right? I'll go find me a deal. But I can't buy it right now. It's fine. Yeah. What else? Mm-hmm. Yes. All the time. And then you cry in your car. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Oh, I did? Was it great? Okay. Renee's asked me to do a buyer consultation. Sure. We can do that. Yeah.
Say like the setting of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to deal, it's like the biggest thing.
Yes.
Because a deal in Greatwood could look differently than a deal in Sunrise Meadows.
Yeah.
Or a deal in Sunrise Meadows could look differently. So it's just like, it's finding those expectations of what, do you really want this house or not?
Yeah.
You know, what would it take to get it? You know, things along those lines. And that shifts from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Absolutely it does. How many of you were in business during COVID? Who cried every day? Murtis, you did? I got you, girl. Okay. So I think the example I'm trying to share here, though, is in that type of market where you were getting 75 offers on a listing, 175,000 over asking price. That was the deal to the buyer. The deal was getting the house, and it's like, here's what it takes to do it. Are you willing to do it? And when they say yes, then we do, and they get the house. That's the deal. So a deal doesn't always have to be saving the most money or paying the least amount of commission. It could be a number of things. Okay. Okay. Y'all are great. Thank you for hanging out with me. Keep clapping. Never? Make sure they know that. I'm kidding. Thank y'all. You're welcome.